Good morning. We're talking about the Detroit Lions for the 2025 season. We're at 7-5. The Green Bay Packers have beaten us twice, soundly beaten us twice. They're the better team. I've seen some talk uh, about the about the coach calling a timeout after the faults start. Okay, let's just say they got that wrong. They still kicked a field goal. They still might have went for it and fourth down and scored a touchdown. So, and you can see him walking before the false start. So, at best, it's questionable. In the sake of argument, let's say they got it wrong. Well, at the end of the game, Robertson, number 21, clearly pulled on the wrist, left the receiver with one arm. Kitty's biting my Bible. You don't bite the Bible. You don't bite the Bible. You got it? All right. Anyways, straightening my kitty out. Put things in place. She's being a little feisty. She can bite me, but don't bite my Bible. Anyway, she don't know any better. But now she does. But back to Robinson, clearly pulled down. That should have been pass interference. And the shot that they showed from the referee was 4 feet away. That guy should be fired. I do not want a ref that can look at that play and not throw a flag in the game. There should be zero tolerance for that. He should get fined as much as any player's been fined for in a split second hitting a guy too late. That game goes so fast, and if one guy lowers his head, then it's head-to-head contact when the defender may not have. If a referee who gets paid handsomely in $1 billion business can look at that play and not call interference, I don't want them refereeing ever again. They should be held accountable the same way that they keep handing out all these fines after they dissect the game and fine people for plays that weren't even penalized. That referee should never referee again, or at least lose a good portion of his pay and taken back into uh, referee school or whatever they have. And as far as the earlier touchdown with the 2 feet or not, looks like the guy had the ball. Now he brought it to his second hand, but had control of it. That's two steps. I'm sorry. So, Lions fans, let's not whine. Let's not be the most whining fan base there is because let's face it, we've got a lot of bad calls against us. But you know what we also haven't got? Wins out of those, so that magnifies those bad calls. I guarantee you Tom Brady's got calls for him, but he's had a lot of calls against him. He's got 7 Super Bowls and 10 Super Bowl appearances. In my lifetime, I'm 58 years old. I haven't seen the Lions in the Super Bowl. The closest, we were up 24-7 and found a way to lose against the 49ers. Multiple people, just like last game on Thanksgiving against the Packers, multiple people played their part in us losing. And unfortunately, the coach has a little something to do with this too. I'll get back to that. There was multiple drops, there's catchable balls, and there is also bad throws to open people. I was watching against the Giants the play before. Amon St. Brown got a little dump off pass and ran in for a touchdown. That David Montgomery was wide open, nobody anywhere close to him. And Golf was staring to the left the whole time. Couldn't see anything else because Golf, that video that I saw, the guy claimed that he's getting paid off. I don't believe that, but I do believe this. that our O-line has been so inconsistent, and we're witnessing pass rushes against us, and we don't have one. There's a list of things that have just recently, in this last year, have just kind of showed its ugly face, and we've seen parts of it last year and the year before. But Goff is playing scared. He's not taking time to see who's the best receiver, making good decisions. He has shown that if he is protected well, he can throw it with the best of them. But he is playing so scared right now. And I don't blame him in one sense. He's got his big contract. He wants to stay healthy. He's got family. He's looking, we all look out for each other, ourselves as much as possible. He took some serious hits, and how he's not injured or lost the ball on those hits is beyond me. And some of those hits are his own, to 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 degree, his own fault. He's he doesn't have the capability to avoid a pass rush like a Jordan Love or anybody else. So many other quarterbacks. I said this beginning of the year that Goff is much like Matthew Stafford wasn't the problem. We didn't have a team around. We didn't have a team like we have right here around Matthew Stafford. Had we didn't done that, we'd probably won a Super Bowl now. The Rams knew what the Lions are learning, that Jared Goff is good to a certain point. He can possibly get you to a Super Bowl, but he's not that quarterback. And I wanted him to do such a thing, but reality setting in. We're 7-5. If you go back to the championship game, we're up 24-7. You're the leader of a team. You're playing the most important position. If you throw the ball in stride to Josh Reynolds, maybe he catches it when you go on 4th and 7. If you throw it 2 feet down where he has to go to the ground, he dropped it. He should have still made the catch. It wasn't a perfect throw. Wasn't a bad throw, but it wasn't perfect. Goff has surprised me, and then some. I don't want to put all the blame on him. There is a lot of people that were involved in the loss. I'm going to go to the coach. A good leader takes responsibility, and I give hats off to Dan Campbell. I haven't watched any of the press conferences after that game because you know why? I don't want to hear talking. I want to see results. When LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers were down 3-1 to the 73 team, I didn't see LeBron for the next 3 games go crying to the refs. He shut his mouth and he played the best basketball I think I've ever seen play. And when he swatted the great Stephen Curry shot and kind of stared him down in a nutshell, you can say what you want, all you LeBron haters, but that right there is a GOAT moment, a very big GOAT moment. No other team had to face a 73-win team down 3-1 in the NBA Finals. That's just one of the many little things. Anyways, get back to this. Coaching. We're not running the ball well against Green Bay. We didn't in week 1. Now we're in the second game against Green Bay on Thanksgiving. You ran it the first down, second down, and third down. And what did you get in 3 downs? You got 7 yards. You averaged 2.7 yards per carry. And that was when the defense had to play the pass. Now you're going to run it again on 4th down and 3. He got maybe a yard. I don't even know if he got that. That's embarrassing. That's horrible play calling. The center stepping on Goff's foot made me think of Gary Danielson falling down half the time. kind of looking backwards. Now, I sound all negative, but I'm just reporting what I see. There's other people that I want to point out too. One of my favorite people on the planet in football is Isaac Tesla. And I've been harping that this guy's 6'4". He's got speed. Forget that he's a rookie. This guy catches everything that you throw a clean pass to. He hasn't dropped one. I'm not saying he won't drop one, but you haven't gone to him. There's been 2 or 3 throws that he was smothered and covered, or the ball was thrown horribly wrong that he didn't get a hold of. But anything you have thrown towards him that is somewhat catchable, if it hits his hands, he's normally catching it. So I've been preaching for him to get involved. Now, there was an end around play that the speedster Jameson Williams was running around the end. And there was a guy that hit him in the backfield, and he still broke loose a little bit, but it hit him, set up, it changed his momentum so bad that he ended up getting tackled instead of going down the field for who knows how long. And it was Isaac Tesla. He hit the block, but he didn't finish the block. And, his attempt was good, but the result was he didn't block enough. And then there was that touchdown. I can't remember exactly who caught it. It seems like Jordan Love had all the time in the world. He was protected. He could go to. It seemed like he had 6 different receivers he could throw to. There is one in the end zone. I think is a first or second touchdown. And Brian Branch is covering, but then he slows up because he sees a cornerback there. He's got nobody else to cover. He should have continued running. And you don't know, because Brian Branch is such a hard hitter, that if he continued running at his full speed and continued running, that receiver would have seen that helmet come closer and closer to him and think about that more than catching the ball. Instead, he slowed up, let the cornerback get it, Harper, or safety, and then it was a catch. Definite catch. It wasn't the questionable two or 3 steps in. It was, and then he goes like, "Is no good." Well, you're no good, Branch, on that play. I love Brian Branch. He hits so hard, and I want to give a suggestion to you. And you never know if these coaches ever listen to any of us fans, but it seems like us fans are starting to know a little bit more than sometimes the coaches. I'm not saying I'm smarter than the coach, and I'm not saying any fan is, or the general manager. But here's what we haven't had in 3 years. And we've been talking Super Bowl potential for the last 3 years. Aiden Hutchinson gets double teamed every game. He hasn't done a whole lot since 3 or 4 weeks ago. Well, the Giants, he made that big play. But throughout the game, other than that, he wasn't that effective. And here's a reason why: you're double teamed. If Michael Jordan was double teamed all the time, he'd been a lot less effective. But because he had Scottie Pippen and other people on the team that he could move the ball to what he wanted, they became more effective. So we needed a pass rush 3 years ago. We needed it 2 years ago. We needed it this year. You know what we've gotten in the draft? 0. You know what we've gotten in in free agency? 0. We went and got Darius Smith last year when Hutchinson went down. Why didn't we keep him until we found somebody better? He's better than anybody we have right now. Muhammad had a little bit of success earlier the year, but I haven't seen him sack a quarterback for a while. DJ Reader, Lynn McNeil, where are you at? All I know is before the season started, Micah Parsons was available. Here's what Green Bay did. They gave up an all-pro defensive tackle, Kenny Clark, who was a Pro Bowl player but has been injured more often than not. They gave up him and some late-round picks. And they get the best pass rusher we have seen in the last 5, 10, 15 years. A game changer. You took a very good Green Bay team that made the playoffs last year and made them better than the Lions. Hats off to you guys in Green Bay for making that decision. That's the decision that we could have made. We could have gave Jerry Jones a lot more than what Green Bay did. And if you have Micah Parsons and Hutchinson, which one you can't double team both. If you do, somebody's going to break loose. And somebody's got to break loose out of the other people left on the field. You know who's about as big as Hutchinson? Jack Campbell, who's one of the best tacklers in football. Can he be moved to a position like Micah Parsons? Because Micah Parsons was a middle linebacker. Micah Parsons is a beast. He's an athlete. He's fast. Until we have a quarterback that can outrun Micah Parsons, we're going to be in trouble. The rest of our division's in trouble. I know Chicago's going on for a long streak, but the toughest team in our division right now is Green Bay because they have more experience than Chicago does. Jordan Love's got more experience than Caleb Williams. They've been in the playoffs. They've been in the hunt for the division lead longer than the Bears have. And they have Micah Parsons. When that trade went down, it was a loss-loss situation for us. We needed him. And not only did we not land him, Green Bay got him. As soon as everything was going on about the talk about the possibility of trading Micah Parsons, Brad Holmes should have dropped every thought he had. And here's what we have. We have foolish pride. We need to pay our players that we drafted because we're geniuses. And there's no doubt there's been some good picks. But you've paid all these players, Amon St. Brown, Goff, now Hutchinson, I forget who else. But you've paid them. But you should have gone after Micah Parsons with everything you have. And I don't know what we did offer. Maybe Dallas viewed us as, maybe Jerry Jones says, Detroit's already there. That'll eliminate everybody from winning the Super Bowl because the Lions will win the Super Bowl. Maybe that came together. I don't know. But if we had an opportunity to trade JMO or anybody they wanted within reason to get Micah Parsons, I would have. Well, he's not the kind of character that we want in our locker room. That's why you chose not to draft Jalen Carter, who happens to be a beast up the middle. Jalen Carter is better than anybody on our team other than maybe Hutchinson on that line. And we could have had him. There was character issues, I get that. But you know what Philadelphia has won? A Super Bowl since then with Jalen Carter. We want winners. You've said no to Dominic Sue for a couple of years when he was 3 years ago. He wanted to play for the Lions. Even last year, I believe he wanted to play for the Lions, and you said no. That guy's a beast in the weight room. If he can give you 3 or 4 good plays, it's better than what we're getting today. As good as the Lions brass has been, we've made some mistakes. Going for it on fourth down, we're not. It seems like there's no element of surprise at all anywhere. The best trick play we had all game against Green Bay was Goff taking off and running 24 yards. The defenders probably were laughing because Goff can't outrun the hot dog vendor even when he's holding his little handheld cart. That's all I got to say about that.